All right, and joining me on the phone now, he is the head coach of what is currently the 10th-ranked team in all of college basketball from the Florida State Seminoles. Coach Leonard Hamilton is on the phone. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing this fine, Aaron. How you doing?
I am doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. So here, I want to start with a somewhat obscure question here, but the other day after you guys beat Louisville, great win for you, for your program, I kind of mentioned offhand, and I hope this isn't offensive, Coach. I said, Leonard Hamilton, 71 years old, crushing it. And a lot of people were surprised, Coach Hamilton, that you're 71 years old. What is the secret to success? Why are you getting – it appears, I don't want to be offensive, that you're getting better with age. What are your secrets, man? Because we could all use a couple of them, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I do think I keep things in perspective. I've always eaten right, and I take care of my body. But I think more than anything else, I enjoy doing what I do, and I enjoy working with young people. We realize that, in this day of sports, it appears that it's all about winning, but really it's all about taking teenagers and ushering them into young adulthood in a caring way. And we keep it in perspective, and we enjoy what we do. And I think I've been blessed. My mother was 97, and so she's had longevity. I think I got good genes, and I enjoy what I do, and I intend to be doing it for a long time.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So we're breaking news here. Florida State fans should expect you for at least another 20 years, right?
Well, I'm going to be doing it as long as I can. As long as I don't start calling my players by different names, I think I'm going to hang in there pretty good.
Fantastic. So, listen, the story of what you guys are doing this year has been well documented, but it remains incredible. And I don't think people truly appreciate where you guys started and where you guys are now. As I mentioned, you and I are recording here late in the week right after the Wake Forest win, and you're now 10th in the country. What I don't think a lot of people realize, you lost 6 out of your top 8 scorers off last year's team that went to the Sweet 16. A year before, you're in the Elite 8. Are you at all surprised by the success of this team? And kind of more importantly, what is it that's allowed you guys to have so much success so early in the season?
I think we have a maybe a little different approach than what some people have. Most people play their top players 35, 36 minutes. We got to play at such a pace offensively and defensively. It's almost virtually impossible to play as hard as we have to play, and we require our kids to play to play more than 27 to 30 minutes a game. And we have some guys that play a little bit more. So we involve more players. We played 11 guys last night. And that's who we are. We don't necessarily always have the one and dones or the first round draft picks coming out of high school, but they always develop into guys who have a chance to play in the league and play in Europe and play professionally. So we kind of under the radar in terms of who we recruit and who's on our team. A lot of the guys who vote for us or vote for outstanding players don't even know the names of the guys on my team. So we feel like we've developed a system and a style recruiting that allows us to be successful with the high character kids who play with tremendous effort, with unselfish spirit, and who want to compete at the highest level. And so I think that we just a little different than what most people believe, that the way the approach to the game, and and our kids have bought in, and we attract kids who want to be a part of who we are.
Well, and that was actually going to be my next question, so I'm glad you kind of led me there. I'm kind of amazed as I watch your teams year in and year out. As you said, you play 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys, and this is the time of year in college hoops where coaches are trying to kind of reduce their rotations to 7 or 8 guys that they know they can count on. It sounds like you just laid out why you do it. It's because of the effort that you require your players on both ends of the court. But I'm kind of amazed in this era of the transfer portal, and the second things go wrong, kids want to go to the next spot. What are you and your staff kind of telling these kids behind the scenes to convince them that, hey, you can come here, instead of playing 34 minutes, you can play 24. We're going to have success, and you're going to have success, because what you guys are doing does really kind of feel like it runs counter to what is going on in so many other places across college basketball.
Well, Chris Camardi is with Philadelphia, and they love it, and he's probably going to sign a longer contract, and he only played 14 minutes a game.
Huh.
Fiondu Kamigeta, the first-round draft pick, and he was a non-starter. Terrence Mann plays for the Clippers, and he played. I think he averaged 11 points a game, but he's a complete player. I think we do a very good job of developing players. I think we're teaching them, they're getting exposure, and they're having success. We've only had 3 kids not graduate in the 18 years we've been here. That have been with us for 4 years. We've had some one and dones and two and out, but I think that for the most part our kids have gotten their degrees. I think we're taking teenagers and usher them into young adulthood. I think that we place a lot of emphasis on character and the overall development of youngsters, and I think the kind of guys we get in that come to us feel that that's important to them in their life, and so we don't try to sugarcoat it. We just try to be honest with people, and there are kids who really want to get the education. There are kids who want to be disciplined. They want to go to class. They want to get their degree. And those are the guys who are attracted to us, and then obviously we want to recruit kids who are talented enough so we can compete in the #1 basketball conference in the history of college basketball, the ACC. So it's kind of working for us, and we try to recruit people who we appeal to and who appeal to us.
So that's really interesting, Coach. And, I kind of, we were tongue-in-cheek off the top about, you've been doing this for a long time. But I do find it interesting is that every year, we all see the same headlines. And obviously, look, James Wiseman leaves to pursue a professional career. We get it. He's going to be a very high draft pick. But it does feel like that every year, the educational element of this and the fact that, I know everyone wants to criticize college basketball and the NCAA or whatever, but a lot of good is done behind the scenes, and people like myself who go to games and are on campuses realize that. But kind of the national narrative, I don't think, is there in terms of a lot of these schools are doing a lot of good for a lot of kids. Have you found through the years, I'm guessing you have, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, that I feel like we're kind of losing that. The fact that you're talking about recruiting kids that want an education is something that I feel like every year, I don't know if it becomes less important, but I do feel like from guys like me in the media, not me specifically, but I do feel like those kind of things get talked about less and less.
Well, there's no question that you guys put so much emphasis on a part at the end of the rainbow. You spend more time talking about one and done and first-round draft picks, and you don't realize that only 25 or 30 kids make the NBA every year, and y'all spend all your time talking about the 30 kids who are elite and not the 7,000 kids who at some point in time are going to be working 9 to 5.
Sure.
It's really amazing to me that all our emphasis is placed on, all our rules are governed that we are implementing now as to how you get to the Chicago, how you get to the draft, and kids are transferring. 700, 800 kids are transferring because they're always chasing that dream. But in reality, at the most, you might have 30 jobs a year, maybe 35. The kids who go in the NBA, and a lot of them are from Europe. So, we've created this mindset that everybody is shooting for this spot when you only have 450, 60, 400 so jobs. You have 700 kids, 7,000 kids probably play Division I basketball, not NAIA and Division II and junior colleges. So I think we've created this pie in the sky that does not really exist, and that's all we talk about. So, we dealing with the elite. Everybody who plays basketball, they are not elite.
Yep.
They're some people are just good basketball players that can get the education and degrees and have a nice life. Leonard Hamilton was one of them.
Sure. No, 100%. No, and it's probably another conversation for another day between you and I, and hopefully we can do this again down the road, because it is something that I talk about, and it is something that frustrates me, and it is I think the narratives have completely swung the other way, and it's funny because on the last episode of this show that I did, somebody was asking me, well, why is this freshman so disappointing, and why is that freshman so disappointing? And what I told the guy, I said, look, Zion Williamson or Anthony Davis or John Wall is the exception, not the rule, and we think just because a kid is a McDonald's All-American or he has this accolade or that accolade that he automatically should be that guy, if that makes sense.
Well, what's interesting, though, we are now, I don't know, in the last 4 or 5 years, we probably got 300 kids who have put their name in the draft that didn't even get drafted.
Yep.
And so now they're 26, 27 years old, married with 2 kids and no degrees, and that list is going to continue to keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and a lot of it's because, those guys are chasing their dream, and we're not putting the reality in front of them. I want everybody who's capable of reaching their dreams to do so. I would never hold a kid back. Matter of fact, I would never push anybody out. But we've created a scenario that we talk about everything except getting an education. I mean, and so I'm disappointed that we're not putting that as part of the conversation. Even with us talking about the players getting paid for while they're in college to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear somebody talk about, somebody getting an education while they're in college and getting a degree and putting themselves in a position where hopefully they can have a real solid, substantial way of life. But that doesn't seem to be part of the conversation at all. It's everything else that about basketball other than the reality of why a student athlete is going to college in the first place, to take advantage of an opportunity to earn a scholarship. So at least now, we can get an education.
No, I agree 100%. Like I said, we only have a couple minutes here, and I don't want to spend all – this is a great conversation, and we can continue this another day because this is stuff that I preach every day. And like you said, and frankly, like I said, it's people in the media, I don't include myself in this, where we spend too much time talking about the wrong things. But let's talk about your team a little bit. Back to your team. We mentioned number 10 in the country. You win at Louisville. We love Louisville. Louisville's a great program, all that kind of stuff. We talked about being ahead of schedule, behind schedule. How much better can this team get? Because that's the amazing thing to me. If you had told me before the season, hey, by March, Florida State figures it out there in the NCAA tournament, they're giving people problems, I wouldn't have been surprised. But if you had told me in January they'll be ranked in the top 10 and they'll be a contender for the ACC title, I would have said that is shocking to me. And listen, shame on me for not doing enough homework in the preseason, I guess. But I guess what I'm asking is, you're so good now. You've reached so many heights now. You're playing at an insane level, 17-3 in your last 20 ACC games. But how much better can this team actually get?
Well, I think we still are in the development stages. I mean, I think our team is growing and has potential to develop and be pretty good. So, what we're doing now is just taking it one day at a time, realize we're teaching, developing, working with our youngsters. It's all going to work itself out. That's one thing good about college basketball. You get a chance to earn your rightful place.
Absolutely. Wrap up here, last couple questions. Listen, I got to ask it. I'd be remiss if I didn't. Do you feel like you're getting the respect that you deserve? Do you feel like that Florida State is being talked about enough? Because, again, to be blunt, you guys, I think, have exceeded every logical expectation. You beat Louisville. I think everybody started to notice, here we go again. This is a really good team.
Well, here again, I'm not one that worry about respect in the middle of January. Sure. Now, understand, we were not ranked in the beginning of the year. We didn't worry about it because we felt like we had a chance to be pretty good. We lost 6 players last year. No one really knew a whole lot about us and how we were going to develop, which I get it. So we don't need to change our report. If I start looking for respect in the middle of January, then I might not have a good opportunity in March. So what we're doing, taking one day at a time, one game at a time, trying to put ourselves in a position where we can win as many games as possible. And the way you do that is worry about that which you can control. Respect is not one of them. A lot of the guys, the teams that get respect for more than we do, are guys who coach at teams that were getting the respect 50, 60, 70, 180 years ago, and they're getting respect because their program is respected because of the success of the tradition of their program. We're not one of those programs. We wasn't invited to the party. And so what we have to do is just keep doing what we can control, keep working, keep grinding, keep teaching, keep developing, and then we'll judge where we are in March.
Is that something you're proud of, the fact that you are laying that foundation? Listen, we already established you're going to be at Florida State another 20 years into your 90s, but Eventually someone else is going to take over, and they're going to take over a program that has been to Sweet 16s, Elite Eights, maybe a Final Four here the next year or two. Are you proud of what you've built and what you continue to build?
Well, that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's our goal. That's our plan, is to continue to keep doing what we were hired to do, and hopefully for too long everyone will understand that we are a program of significance, and you earn respect over a period of time. Tradition is hard to develop, and we in a conference where there are so many successful programs that have been successful for many years prior to us even coming to the league. What we want to do is just try to carve out our little niche.
All right, last question. I'll let you go. I know you're busy. I know you got to run here. I read an article about 3 or 4 years ago. I think most people know this, if not before. They probably learned it last Saturday against Louisville, that you coached at Kentucky as an assistant under Joe B. Hall for a number of years. I read an article the same year that you guys got a commitment from Sam Bowie, the eventual number 2 pick in the NBA draft. You were right there with Ralph Sampson, the number 1 player, 3-time National Player of the Year. I got to ask, I've wondered this for years. How close was Kentucky to having Ralph Sampson and Sam Bowie on the same roster?
I think that's the question you need to ask Ralph, and I'm sure he'll be honest with you. You know, we had. I enjoyed Ralph. We still have a great relationship. That was a very interesting scenario, but Ralph they made a choice for him to stay in Virginia, but that would have been very intriguing for Ralph Sampson, Melvin Turpin, and Sam been on the same team.
Very good. Coach Leonard Hamilton, the number 10 ranked Florida State Seminoles. Coach, I know you're slammed. I know you're busy. I appreciate you carving out a few minutes. Best of luck the rest of the season. Hope we can continue to talk down the road. I enjoyed it. Thank you again for the time.
Thank you.